Champions are not born. They're forged. This is about turning the ordinary into undisputed. Available now. Ade Oladipo, brought to you by Undisputed.
Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. We are brought to you by Undisputed. The new takeover pack is available to download right now. Just go to playundisputed.com. All right, let's try and do this. I say try and do this because I am shattered. I've barely slept. As you guys know, I was in Belfast covering the Lewis Crocker-Paddy Donovan fight. We need to do a video on that because I'm not too sure about the scorecards. Anyway, I got home from that event, or got to the hotel from that event, just gone midnight. I stayed up to watch all the fights. My flight was at 6 a.m. I was making my way to the airport whilst watching Crawford put a beat down on Canelo on my phone. So I didn't even have the pleasure of staying in a hotel watching it. My flight was at 6 in the morning, and it's now just gone 10 o'clock, and we are here. I am back. I say all that. I know you guys don't really give a shit about that. I say all that because this video could go all over the place because I haven't slept and I haven't had coffee. But who cares? I was able to watch Crawford cement himself as one of the all-time greats. And before we get into it, obviously the scorecards were close. I said on Twitter a couple of days ago that I think Crawford's going to win at 7-5. I think I said that on a few videos I did. I actually had it 9-3. And maybe that's generous. Maybe 10-2. That's how masterful I thought Terence Crawford was. I actually thought Canelo was good, but I thought Crawford had an answer for everything that Canelo did, everything Canelo tried to do. And in the end, Crawford, I think, was just genius-like. There's a few fighters over the years that have put in performances and you're like, oh my God. Like Usyk has done it a number of times. I thought Bivol did it against Beterbiev. Crawford did it against Errol Spence. Errol Spence. And Crawford did it again a few hours ago against Canelo. And what makes it even special, or more special, for Crawford is that he did it jumping up, as we know, a couple of weight classes. He did it against one of an all-time, or another fellow all-time great. And he did it against someone who was undisputed and still a pound-for-pound top 10 guy. That's what Crawford did, people. So, you know, all those things people were saying in the lead up to this fight, you know, Canelo's going to be too strong, Canelo's too experienced, Crawford's going to be 38, all that. You have to remember all of that when you give Crawford his flowers. Like, don't like, oh, well, you know, Canelo looks old. No. I don't want to hear any of that. I've started to see a few people on Twitter start to kind of sort of find excuses already. No. Remember everything you said, because Crawford deserves all of that. All of that. Crawford was incredible. Honestly, in the pocket, he was at times showing Canelo, no, I'm stronger than you. I'm going to bully you. Oh, you think you're going to get me in the clinch because you're Mr. 168? No, look at the size of me. I'm jacked as well. I'm swole. And he was moving Canelo around. So by doing that, he got his respect. He didn't switch to orthodox once, stayed in the southpaw stance because he realized early, oh, Canelo don't like this. Canelo does not like this southpaw stance. Canelo's tripping over himself. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to switch it. No, I like this work. I'm going to stay here. On the ropes, it's like, okay, come in. Because you know when you come in, you know I've got that as well. And I can hurt you as well. Spinning off the ropes. His jab was fantastic. They put up the jab numbers. He was out jabbing Canelo like, it was almost like 10-1. Maybe even 20-1. It was fantastic. And when he needed to land those power shots, he was landing those power shots. It was an incredible performance. Honestly, it was one for the books. One for the books. And to do it on the grandest of stages as well. To do it on his biggest stage. You know, Canelo's seen that stage already. Crawford's never seen that stage. Never. And to do it on that stage, to not shirk the moment, to not freeze in a moment, deer in the headlights, all, you know, the phrases you can chuck it in, to do it there against that, whew, man, honestly, I was so impressed. So impressed. Like, I actually thought Crawford came in too big. Like, when he both touched the gloves at the start of the fight. I was like, oh, Crawford looks a bit too big. Like, Crawford's going to have to use his legs here. And I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe Crawford, and this is what I said, and I was wrong. Happy to admit I was wrong. I was like, Crawford's going to win a lot of the early rounds. Canelo's going to come into it, which Canelo nearly did. Like, the rounds that Canelo picked off were the middle rounds. Canelo's going to come into it. Then Crawford's going to nick a championship round, which is why I said 7-5. Because I thought the weight's going to be a bit too much. Crawford's legs are going to feel too heavy because of the extra bulk, right? He's put on a lot of size, and it isn't just fat. He's putting a lot of muscle, which weighs you down. Trust me, I know. I thought he was going to be a bit slower in the second half of the fight, and he wasn't. He wasn't. I mean, there were times, and he didn't need to do it. There were times when, I think it was either around 9 or 10, I was like, what's he doing? He was standing in the pocket and trading with Canelo. Trading with someone that ultimately he knows he can't hurt, because no one hurts Canelo. But it was like, you know, fuck it. I want to trade with you because you know what? I know what these Vegas judges are like, and I want to make sure that there is no issue here. Bivol did a bit of that as well. Like, okay, I'm going to land 3s and 4s and 5s because you know what? I don't want any problems when it comes to the scorecards, and there nearly was a problem. Like, the scorecards were far too close. The fight wasn't that close. Crawford was just, man, he's a good fighter, you know, stating the obvious here, but he is a good fighter. I'm not an historian. I don't pretend to be an historian. There's a lot of people on Twitter pretending to be historians now, saying Crawford's the greatest of all time. Crawford's top 5. He's on the Mount Rushmore. I don't know about all that. I can only tell you about my generation. And in my generation, he is one of the greats. Is he the great of this generation? Maybe, but he's one of them. Usyk is one of them. Canelo, let's not be disrespectful, is one of them as well. He's definitely within my generation. So the generation before, just so you guys know what I'm talking about when I say generations, is the Mayweather generation, the Pacquiao generation. This generation is 10 years after the Usyk generation, the Canelo generation, the Crawford generation. Maybe Bivol will be in that conversation when it's all said and done as well. You know, Chocolatito generation. Like, there's about 6 or 7. He is the top of that tree alongside Usyk. Alongside Usyk. I'm not having the Usyk slander that the Americans like to throw out. Like, what's Usyk done? Go and check the fucking resume. That's what Usyk has done. Just go and check the resume. That's what Usyk has done. They're both fantastic, and I think both of them will show the plaudits and respect to each other. But this man that I'm seeing on my laptop screen right now is he's incredible. Honestly, he's incredible. Like, dude, I'm not joking. I was thinking, and I'm gonna do a what next video because I mean, this guy should not retire. Normally, I'm like pushing you out, like, no, get in, get rich, get out. You guys know the phrase, right? Get in, get rich. And normally I'm like, dude, you've made enough money. I don't know how much you would have made a few hours ago, 70, 80 million. I don't know. I don't know what he made for Madrid. I don't know what he made for Spence, but he's made more money than he could have ever dreamt of. And that should be enough. But I'm like, oh, no. You're too good to retire. You're too good. You're too good to call it quits. Like, I don't know, man. I'm looking at some of those light heavies. I'm like, Bivol ain't the biggest. Bivol ain't the biggest. I'll say it again. Bivol ain't the biggest. That's all I'm saying. I'm not causing any trouble here. I'm saying Bivol's not the biggest light heavyweight I've ever seen. Crawford looked fucking massive, didn't he? Looked massive. You know, maybe eat a bit more chicken, go up 7 more pounds. And then, I'm getting excited now. Then we're talking 100%. He's in the all-time great discussion. He's not there yet. Calm down. There's so many people that have achieved so much in this sport. It's disrespectful to those people. He's there or thereabouts, but he's not a top 5. He's not a top 10 fighter of all time. He's not. I mean, again, I don't know all my history, but I know enough to know that there are 9 better fighters than Terence Crawford. Beat a Bivol, you even challenge a Bivol, then, I mean, it's a whole different discussion. But look, it was a long night of boxing. Some dubious decisions. Like, I don't know if you guys were watching it early when Jermaine Franklin got a decision. I was like, what is going on there? So happy for Brandon Adams in beating Sahib Boychuk. It shows the levels at 154 pounds. I know Ishmael Davis took that fight on late notice, but we saw what Boychuk did to Ishmael, and Boychuk just lost to Brandon Adams, who's not been very busy since he actually beat Boychuk. But that was a really, really good fight. The punch stats on that fight must be incredible. Must be one of the highest over 10 rounds. It was incredible. But look, we'll end on T-Bud. A very, very special fighter who, unfortunately, was with a promoter in Top Rank who couldn't get him. Like, he could have been a superstar. He did something post-fight talking about he's now the face of boxing, and he could be. It's a shame that it's taken him to be 38 years of age, or 38, I think, next month, to become that. Because when you look at what he could have fought, when he could have fought them, but Top Rank weren't aligned or working at the time with Al Heyman and PBC to get those fights, he would have beaten Keith Thurman. He would have beaten Danny Garcia. He would have beaten the Errol Spence, I believe. Sean Porter earlier. Do you know what I mean? Those people all over there. And those wins would have cemented himself as a superstar. It would have. Because he's got a character. He's got a personality. He's had to wait so long, right at the back end of his career, to get the biggest wins. But at least it's happened. At least it's happened. The boxing gods have smiled upon him. As for Canelo, yeah, I just thought Canelo looked really good. Like, I said this is going to be a better Canelo than it was against William Skull. It was. Better Canelo than it was against Berlanga. It was. Better than Munguia. It was. Better than John Ryder. It was. It just wasn't enough. He was good. And I love how humble he was at the end when he went to the post-fight press and they asked him, like, you know, because normally fighters will find an excuse because they're proud fighters. And he was like, no. He was just too good and I couldn't work him out. And I love that. For someone of Canelo's stature in the sport, just to kind of, a bit of humility and say, no, this guy was just a bit too good for me. I didn't expect that. You got to respect that. He was trying. He was trying to slow him down. He was chopping to the body. They clearly had the plan of, okay, we need to go to the body and slow Crawford's legs down. I think he maybe didn't anticipate how strong Crawford would be, how fast he would be. The reach, that jab is just fucking, I mean, you think you're out of distance and then bang, it's hitting you. Crawford didn't run, didn't do a William Skull, wasn't on his bike. And when he did run, he made Canelo look silly because Canelo would sort of miss with big lunging punches. It just wasn't Canelo's night. And look, Canelo, I don't know, what is he, 35? He's achieved everything. Absolutely everything. And there are young kids coming through that are dangerous and strong and big. We saw a couple on the undercard in Bealey, Lester Martinez. Obviously, we know he's not going to fight Benavidez. Is the Hamza Shiraz fight still a fight that can be made? Is it still attractive? I mean, I doubt it. So there will be real questions as to what Canelo does. But look, we'll do a what next for Canelo as well. This is just a very quick video before I get coffee in me and crash for a few hours that I wanted to get out because I loved it. It was great to listen to John Anik. I thought John Anik was really good. Max was okay. Andre Ward was just fantastic. Like, every broadcast should break the bank to get Andre Ward on. He was really, really good. But overall, it was a good night of boxing. I'm not one of those people, when I'm not working on the event, I'm not going to shit on the event because ultimately boxing wins. And before working in boxing, I loved boxing. I'm a boxing fan. So boxing won on Saturday. Ringside was packed with superstars. Netflix numbers are going to go through the roof. And it was the night that Terence Crawford cemented himself as one of the all-time greats of boxing in becoming, and it's even weird to say this, a free weight undisputed champion. That's how the sport, to be on the pound for pound list, you might have to become undisputed. You know how crazy that is. Everyone talks about 70s and 80s and 90s, and I get it, great eras. But you know how good you've got to be now to get on the pound for pound list. Like the pound for pound top 3, and we could have said top 4, but obviously Bivol got stripped to the WBC. All undisputed. The pound for pound number 1 in my eyes, double undisputed. Number 2 in my eyes, and Crawford, 3 weight undisputed. Inoue, 2 weight undisputed. Bivol, before getting stripped, undisputed. Crazy times. Peace and love.
Champions are not born. They're forged. This is about turning the ordinary into undisputed. Available now.
Ade Gman, brought to you by Undisputed.